Morning, everybody. This is Karine, Sokpoh, CEO of MAC. Welcome to our newest edition of the MAC B2B AGORA, our live webinar series that brings you fresh insights and real opportunities from across Africa and the United States. I am joined today by my co-host, Ouedraogo, Chair of our Global Trade Committee. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Karine.
How are you?
It's so great. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we took a little bit of a hiatus for a few weeks, and now we are back, refreshed and re-energized with our guests from the International Agribusiness Initiative, of which, John, you are one of the co-founders as well.
Absolutely, Karine. Thank you so much for having us today. And like you said, has been a few weeks or few months that we had our last podcast, the B2B Agora, and it's about time for us to get back on track and start working on it because we're also preparing for the next trade mission. So
That's right. That's right. Now, the International Agribusiness Initiative is a nonprofit funded here in Nebraska, to promote agriculture education, food security, and trade between Africa and the US. Right. And the group is organizing the IM Fair, which we are going to talk about during this show. But John, do you want to go ahead and introduce our guests?
okay, so we have Mr. Julien Koala Wendónda, who's a co-founder and the president of the International Agribusiness Initiative. Mr. Julien, welcome to the show.
Welcome,
Hi, everyone.
Julian.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We have Mr. Moussa Guira, director of program. He's Moussa Guira. I'll let you present your professional background. I know you are a hydrologist you work with the federal government. So just to a little bit about that background.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Karine, and thank you, Jan, for having me today. Yes. So I just want to make clear that I am currently exiting the federal government. So yes, but I have worked for nearly a decade for the U.S. Geological Survey as a hydrologist. And my day job is groundwater modeling, groundwater surface water connection, and water resources management for agricultural and municipal use. So, yeah, welcome. Thank you for having me today. Yes.
Absolutely. Welcome, Moussa, and welcome, Wendónda. Koala, I usually call you Julien because I've known all of you guys for a long time.
Right.
Now, the IM Fair is such an exciting opportunity. My understanding is that this is not just another trade show or conference, although this is the first edition of the event. It's about building bridges between farmers here in Nebraska and technology, and building bridges between Nebraska and Africa as a whole. And why is that important, John?
So just to take you back to what are we looking to do at the fair? The International Agribusiness Initiative is creating a platform where stakeholders from across the chain value, farmers, exporters, investors, manufacturers, policymakers, they can come together to solve some problem and seize opportunity. So this event will showcase solutions in agri-tech, climate smart farming, supply chain innovation, and market access strategies. And we really think this is going to be beneficial for both African and U.S. entrepreneurs because it's just everybody has common. They African has some stuff they'll be needing from the U.S. Entrepreneurs or from the U.S. and and vice versa. And that's why we think this fair is so important to attend.
So one of the goals here is to bring together supply and demand, because agriculture is at the heart of global stability and prosperity. And yet, from you all three of you are from Burkina Faso originally. I'm from Togo, and in our countries, small farmers produce about 80% of the food still struggle to access modern tools, modern markets, and investment opportunities. And here in the US side, the innovators in that space are looking for new partners and new markets, but sometimes they face barriers to entry. And there's no better market, better emerging market right now than Africa, right? So this fair is trying to close that gap and bring them together. Is that right, Moussa?
Yes, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, there has been a tremendous progress in the United States side, especially in the Midwest. Nebraska is one exceptional example of agricultural prosperity. If we look at, for example, the irrigation systems developed here in Nebraska back in the 40s, and there have been some tremendous progress within the technology itself that allowed agricultural production to prosper. Now, if we look on the other side, we still have farmers who are still struggling to be able to make substantial agricultural production, and we can see that the greater percentage of people in Africa are in agriculture, and yet we still struggle with food security. So there is a gap that we're trying to fill in, and we think that this opportunity would be the best for people on both sides to be able to collaborate at multiple levels.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Julien, let's talk about the core question here. Okay. Why does every serious agro business stakeholder, why should they make it a priority to attend the IM Fair?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Karine. I think for this fair, for every African farmer or agricultural entrepreneur in Africa, this fair is an opportunity to attend because, like Moussa and John mentioned, just mentioned, you know, Nebraska and the Midwest is like the backbone of American agriculture. That have like great farmers with experiences that produces many goods like corns and other agricultural needs. And for those African farmers, attending to this fair will be an opportunity to meet those American farmers that have experience. We as an organizer, we already met a couple of them in Lincoln and Iowa, and with what we have seen on their field of agriculture, they can be the ones that will share their experiences and even connect and have some partnership with the African farmers and help them grow and have more production. So that will be a big win for African farmers to attend to this fair because they're gonna be able to meet those great farmers from the Midwest, not only Nebraska, but we will also have some from Iowa and other state nearby Nebraska.
Okay, so yeah, Julien, thanks so much for sharing the importance for people to attend, and we do believe that it's going to be beneficial either for entrepreneurs, policymakers, innovators, manufacturers from the US to attend as well, because like Karine said, it's Africa is one of the growing market, the fastest growing market that be beneficial for these people in the US. And in the other side as well, Africa is growing, so agriculture need to be mechanized, and they need to adopt some uh, better practices for production, which will decrease the losses after you know the after the losses in the crops, and help them to increase also the potential of food security. So just to put people back in the context, the event will be on October 29th and 30th. It's going to be in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Marriott Cornhusker Hotel. And the first day will be mainly conferences, and the second day will be visit on the field. So we probably will be back on that just to give some more details. Karine?
Thank you, John. And that, we want people to mark their calendar right away. And if somebody wants to learn more about the fair or get tickets, Musa, where should they go?
Right. So we have multiple ways of people to be able to get in contact with us. First of all, our website is the aginitiative.org. This is for the entire nonprofit organization, where we're presenting the organization and its mission and what it stands for, what it's trying to accomplish as a whole. But also we have the website. There are links through the main website for you to be able to see the site of the fair. And on that, you have more details about the fair, where it's being held, how to register, and all that. But you can also get in contact with us directly. You can reach out to us through info@aginitiative.org.
Perfect. And Julien, regarding we've all gone to conferences, trade shows, and things like that, right? But to make it really worth it, you have to walk away with some tangible leads for a partnership.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Right.
So how does this event ensure that what is the theme of the event, John? What is the theme of the fair?
It's going to be building bridges.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
basically, we want to connect the African continent with the US.
Mhm.
So basically, building bridges on multiple levels.
Perfect. So how are we, what during the event, what do you guys have planned that will ensure that attendees or participants walk away with leads for real partnerships?
Okay. So I mean, on that on this question, I can just jump right in, just to say that during the process of the registration for the to participate to the fair, we are asking the participant to describe or to express their interests. What are they looking for? Because we also know that what a country like a representative from a country like Botswana has as a priority might be a little bit different from someone like in Ghana. So, or an entrepreneur in Burkina Faso might have different challenges he wants to find solutions for, that can be different from someone in, let's say, someone in Senegal. So we want them to express their interests, to tell us what are they expecting from the fair, even though we have our main expectation, the results that participant will be getting out of the fair. So on the, like I said, it's going to be on multiple levels. So for universities and research institute, we are expecting them at the end of the fair to build connection between universities to foster collaboration in the research, the research field, because like we mentioned in our discussion, in order to find suitable solution for a specific country, they probably need to know more about the soil and more about the climate, which will be involving research. So, you know, so the people and at the university level, they will get the opportunity to connect between peers and foster collaboration for future project. Uh, for entrepreneurs coming from Africa and looking for ways to improve their production, to improve the way they're doing agriculture, we expecting we want them at the end of the fair after visiting the site to be able to see newer machineries, to build connection with other people doing trade in Africa and take it from there. Uh, the other side would be the policymakers who talk about trade between countries. Talking is talking also about regulation. We also want to find ways to uh, for those policymakers to discuss and see how they can create better uh, condition to facilitate trade between African countries and the US. So those are different things, and we're expecting people to also express their interest for the fair, so that we can work ahead of time to connect them. And while they will be here in Lincoln during the fair, we'll be able to match make them. I mean, to just put them in contact with each other according to the center of interest of each participant.
Um, I just wanted to add that so last week we had a trip to Washington D.C. and we actually met
Yeah.
with 14 embassies.
Yeah.
Uh,
How was the fair? The plan for the fair. How did they receive it?
so yeah, just going into that, there is an overwhelming, uh, really good reception of this opportunity, and each embassy that we met, people have expressed tremendous interest in participating in this fair. And this is also the opportunity for them to be able to not only have partners in the Midwest in agricultural production and research transformation, but also between African countries as well, because we're going to have multiple countries in the same location. And this is also an opportunity for people to connect at various levels and talk about how they can foster collaboration to meet their needs. So we did notice that each, like John mentioned, each country has expressed a little bit different priority, which is good. It makes the whole fair even richer because of the diversity in interest. But overall, we can see that every country has expressed that, in their goal is to um, get some improvement in the agricultural production, and this is one event that they welcome and have shown interest in participating.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I wanted to add up. Uh, for example, we have noticed that we have some African farmers that produce so many products that they would like to export to the US, but the US has a strict quality, some no tariff barrier for some kind of products, and they do not let some product enter their country. So we want during this fair to be able to work on with the lawmakers and the attendant to understand more about those barriers. So the US quality of packaging, the phytosanitary standards can be reached and allow those African farmers to export their product to the US.
To clarify, are you planning to educate those farmers on the US standards and really make sure they understand it so that they can be able to overcome those barriers? Is that what one of the goals of the fair?
Yeah, this is one of the goal when they attend, so they can understand like right away during the fair and meet the decision makers and ask their question about how they can do to attend those standards of quality standards before they can allow them to import their product to the US.
That's great. That's awesome. Now, Julien, let's stay with you for a minute.
Sure.
Do you want to walk us through the program of the fair? And John, if you don't mind, if you could share the screen so that Julien can walk us through, the agenda and the opportunities that will be available to attendees.
Share screen. I'm just about to do it.
Okay.
So I have it here. Can you see it?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Not
see.
yet.
I have the agenda, but okay.
Okay, here you go.
Here you go. Okay, you can see it now?
Yep. We can see
Okay.
it.
Okay, so yeah, Julien, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Do you want to jump on the agenda or want to surf through the website?
I think I can jump in on the agenda.
Okay, let me just take you there.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, we have has the agenda on day 1, October 29th, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The registration and networking breakfast at 9 a.m. until 9:40. We'll have the opening ceremony and welcome remarks. Remarks from the International Agribusiness Initiative, remarks from the Midlands African Chamber, the state and local officials welcome. At 9:45 a.m. till 10:20 a.m., we will have the keynote speaker, who is Mr. Anthony Guens, and the topic will be building transatlantic value chains, opportunities for joint ventures, investment flows, and co-processing between the United States and African agribusinesses. From 10:20 a.m. to 11:15.
Not to interrupt you, but Mr. Anthony Guens is the former head of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. So well-seasoned leader, and this will be an amazing keynote. I can't wait to hear him speak.
Right. Thank you. And we will have now the first panel with the topic Climate Smart Agriculture and Sustainable Manufacturing, with best practices in representative farming and sustainable factories operations, innovations from both continents. And we will have the panelists who are engineers, African regenerative farmers, and the US precision ag startups. At 11:15 a.m. to 11:30, we will have a coffee break. And at 11:30 a.m. for 30 minutes, 11:30 to 12, we will have a presentation. On this presentation, the topic will be digitizing the farm, smart tools, and IoT in agriculture. From 12
do we know yet who the speakers are going to be for that presentation? Or you are keeping it under wrap and you don't want to disclose it yet?
Yeah, we're not going to disclose it for now, but pretty soon we will know more the details about it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So then you go on to the next one, which will be the round table. So we get the big headings.
Yeah.
Okay.
The round table will be between 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for 1 hour. And the topic will be Beyond AGOA, building the next generation of the United States and Africa ag manufacturing partnerships. And
Awesome.
the panelists will be the policymakers, the trade envoys, the input suppliers like corn, seed, fertilizers, boards, and private sectors.
Sounds good. And then next, I see here you have the youth and the future of ag. And this one is really interesting to me because, I've been seeing, when we were growing up,
Yeah.
for us, for me in particular, being born in the city, there was not a big, focus put on being involved in agriculture. Even though my grandfather was a farmer, but when I was little, there wasn't a big focus in schools for us to become farmers or to really participate in agriculture. Whereas nowadays, there is way more exposure to for kids to agriculture, and I see a lot of youth really interested in ag and in manufacturing and really making sure that we are using the newest techniques to produce food. So I'm really excited to see that you have this panel here. But how are you going to ensure that the message gets to the youth and that they really are represented, in these discussions full force?
Yeah. Thank you, Karine. On this panel, the topic is youth and future of agri-manufacturing, and featuring young innovators and student researchers from both regions. For example, in the US, we have a large student or young entrepreneur from the African diaspora. They're aiming to, for example, go back in Africa and invest in agriculture. And on the other hand, we have some young entrepreneur and agribusinesses in Africa who's already on the field. We can name like Chun Young, who's like an example. We have another young entrepreneur in Ivory Coast who's his name is like, he was even in Omaha last year. So those examples are like those young innovators. And also like in Lincoln University or Iowa Western or Northeast Community College, they have some agricultural option for students in agricultural fields. So we will team up with those young innovators and students during this fair to find paths and ways of how the African diaspora and the US youth or African youth can team up together for a better future of farming. Because the future of agriculture belongs to the youth, no matter African youth or American youth. Because like we used to say, the founding fathers of these countries who doesn't even live anymore in the US are the ones who built this country. And what are the young American or young African are doing now for a better future of both continents? And this topic will put the African youth and American youth to discuss and found some ways for the farming sector.
That's great, Julien. Thank you for explaining that. I see that the day will be capped off by a showcase and a cocktail and networking B2B meetings. Are those meetings going to be structured, or will they be more, networking style, kind of, by affinity?
The networking,
The B2B meetings.
yeah. The
Will they be
B2B,
structured?
yeah, we will try to structure it depending on the needs of the attendants. Yeah, with the different type of farmers, agricultural business owners. We will set different tables depending their specialties, and according to what the attendant needs to know about it, they are really free uh, with their ticket to attend and go to the table they think they can get the information they need from.
Awesome.
Mhm.
And then the second day, what do you have in plan for the second day, John?
Okay, so the second day will be more fun because that will be on the field. So at
So
9 we
business
take,
on top and fun at the bottom. Is that
yes,
how?
that's true. So we
Okay.
take the participant with buses to go see different places. And the first one will be the Precision Ag in Action at the UNL, where we're gonna visit the National Center for Resilient and Regenerative Precision Agriculture at the Innovation Campus.
Mhm.
And from there, we'll be taking people to go see a ag machinery and ag tech, equipment company.
Mhm.
And that one will be Murphy Tractor and Equipment. So people will see more about the tractors, the technology that is used to to do agriculture here in the U.S. that can be used also in Africa to mechanize and modernize the production. And that one will be really interesting for governments, for entrepreneurs looking to improve their production and be able to farm like bigger surfaces.
Awesome.
And the next one will be a food seed and fertilizer company, a Miller seed company. We know who talk about who's talk. I mean, when you talk about agriculture, you're talking about seeds, you're talking about fertilizers, and most of the time with the climate that is changing, we probably need to adapt the type of seeds that we're using, and depending on the country, depending on the soil, that might involve some different type of seeds or adapted to the soil and to the climate. So it's going to be interesting for people to go and visit this company and have some discussion, create some contact, and that's just what we are looking for. Take people to go and see what is done and build connection, and also, you know, take it back home and doing better.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. That means the participants should bring their walking shoes
Yes.
and comfortable clothes for day two of the
You know,
conference.
that
Yeah.
is interesting because that's something we should be having, telling the participant how to dress for the next day, for the second day, because it's gonna be walking, standing for a while, just being able to move from one place to another. So they just need to be they'll put some clothes and shoes where they can move a little bit faster and easier. So, and last thing will be the last place we'll be visiting on the second day. I mean, the reason why we only have four places is just because, it's just one day, and it takes about an hour or an hour and a half to visit one each place. So we couldn't do more than four. And the last one will be a food processing plant, like a high pressure food processing plant, showing people how they process food. And our goal was to take people from the production to the processing, like the whole chain, so they see how it's working. And we believe that after being able to show all these places to participants, they are going to leave the fair with something tangible. And for those who are willing to stay few more days after the fair, we can also organize other visits. And when we are talking to some farmers, they have suggested that we actually take people to come and have the farm experience where they can go and actually see how they are farming and stay for hours. Then they'll be willing to show them, how they use the machineries, the tools, and all that. So it's exciting, and I can say myself, I'm already excited and looking forward to to seeing people participate on October 29th and 30th.
You know, all this, I am just amazed by all the great things that you've compiled together into this schedule. It seems that it's jam packed with opportunities for connections and for partnerships, both on both sides of the both for Nebraska businesses and for international attendees, global attendees. So I can't wait for October 30th. But before we have some time here, quite, and I wanted to ask you, Moussa, how Moussa and Julien both, feel free to jump in. But how did the idea of this fair come about? And was it based on your background? How did you guys as a group come up with this idea, and why now?
Okay, well, I can start, but I can certainly tell you that I'm not gonna finish answering the entire question because I was called into this. So the people who are really behind this, Julian and John, and they approached me because I'm also in, my professional experience is tied to this entire industry. So and I was more than happy to be part of this wonderful journey. With that said, I would let John and Julian tell you more about how they came up with this wonderful idea.
Julien, will you take it?
Okay, thank you, thank you, Karine, thank you, Moussa. I think the answer of this question is very, very simple, and Moussa even can add that 2 or 3 years ago we had a conversation. The idea was here, but not put together yet, or not officially made it, And then, like John and I, we worked together for over 5 years in the group of entrepreneur, and after every meeting of every two weeks, so we meet like twice per month. John and I, we used to sit after this meeting and we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about ideas. And then the idea just came up, like we just said, okay, look, we live in the Midwest. Nebraska is like the backbone of agriculture. And what are we getting from that? We live here for almost 10 years now. We need to find something to do related to the specialty of Nebraska. And we said, okay, look, Burkina Faso or West Africa or even Africa, we cannot even feed ourselves. So why not if we just try to create something related to agriculture, and with the experience of Nebraska or the Midwest, we can have a bridge between the American backbone of agriculture and Africa. That's how the idea came up, and the idea came up, and the project was born. And Moussa is a big brother and someone who's in the field for years. He's a professional. We just said, you know what, let's call someone more professionals who got experience. And that's how we made things up. And we are here today to talk more about it, because I think we are ready to show something more professional. And John is on the place. John can add up something.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a pleasure and to have this idea coming now to become a reality.
Yeah.
And we started this more over a year ago, and we wanted to have the first edition last year in October, but we were short on time. And Karine even first first meeting we had with Karine just to explain the idea, she told us right away that it's just better to postpone it to the next year, and she gave us some great ideas, uh, which we implemented, and we're seeing the whole result, the whole thing coming together now. So, Karine, I can say you are also part of this project.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, and thanks so much for supporting us. So yeah, I'm not gonna be more than saying more than what Musa and Julian has said already.
Yeah,
You know,
I just wanted to add the second part of the question is why now? And frankly, I think this is long overdue. If you look at the need on the African side and also the need on the American side, because one important aspect of this is, it's not just a one-way collaboration that is happening here. It's both ways. African countries coming for something, and also people in the field in America also have something that they can get from the African producers and government. So, but looking at this, we know that individual countries may have some collaborations, with individual entities or governments here, but the idea of bringing everybody together, and having this event is something that is not only very well appreciated with anyone that we have approached with the idea, but also we think that it's going to create more opportunity than the single country kind of relationship. So
absolutely. And what's better time, you know, than now with the technology that brings us together, and also the opportunities that are offered on both sides, both in Africa, and here in the US, with the advancements in manufacturing and agriculture, being able to put those two things together just makes sense, right? And John, thank you for the opportunity for the chamber to be part of this inaugural conference, and for the collaboration between the Midlands African Chamber and IAI on this wonderful initiative. My next question for the group is, in order for attendees to, especially business owners or farmers from Africa, to attend the event, what advice do you have for them in order for them to have a successful participation here and go back with what they need? What advice do you have for them? How can they prepare? Because a lot of, it's not just showing up for the 2 days, right? But I think success depends on preparation beforehand. So how do you suggest that they prepare for the conference?
So to me, first, when they register for participation, we send them letters. We send them all like a package of documentation that will help them for administrative and for visa purposes. So we are facilitating them in the process in that aspect. For them to also be able to get the most out of this, yes, like you said, preparation is important. We want them to start preparing ahead of time. We are also collaborating with EasyVoy, who is a travel agency that can assist them for to arrange their traveling program, like booking flight, the hotel. We have an agreement with the Marriott Conasco Hotel, where people can register and also benefit from some discount to have a hotel room in the same place where we will be having the conference at.
What's
But
the deadline for the hotel registration? What's the cutoff?
they want to have a head count by October 1st.
Okay, So
Yes.
we have about a month and a half. People should really hurry up and reserve. And I'm
Yes.
sure the link for hotel registration is on your website as well for
Yes.
them. Perfect.
Absolutely. So they can register directly, or they can express their interest directly to us. If they cannot do it online, we'll be able to direct them and guide them. So the second, I mean, they also can be just they can book an hotel anywhere they want to, but just for them to make it easier to access the conference and all that, we have rooms at the Marriott Cornerstone Hotel. So the last thing I will advise for participants who want to also get the most out of this fair is just to plan for even more than 2 days, because one thing is just gonna be what we'll be able to offer during the fair, because we can only do much within 24 hours. But if they can plan for more days and they have some specific thing they want to do, the organizing committee will work with them to help them meet those specific needs. So we're really working to make sure that everybody who's participating gets something out of it at the end of the fair. And we believe that it's an investment they are doing, and we want them to have a good return on investment.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing those details. More particularly, are you offering some assistance with what they need to secure a visa if they're coming from overseas?
So, I mean, the assistant we give on that aspect will be mainly the invitation letter, because most of the time, everybody, I mean, people will just be able to register directly to book an appointment at the U.S. consulate in their respective country for a visa interview. But for them to support the reason of their traveling in the US, they have a support letter, which is the invitation letter and the supporting document showing that they're coming for the fair. And the International Agribusiness Initiative is a nonprofit legally created in the state of Nebraska. They can verify that. So those are the main things that we are offering to assist them. But if anybody has a specific need they would like to express that to us, we'll be able to connect them with more resources to help them, uh, process their visa interview.
Thank you. And Julian,
Yes.
one thing that that people may forget if they are not really savvy with attending events such as this, um, I find oftentimes is having their marketing materials prepared and revised to meet the focus of the event.
Yes.
How important is that? And do you advise that they also participants that are coming from overseas, uh, um, or even here, do you advise that they have a capability statement ready, that they are clear about their goals? Do you advise some of those things?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We do advise them to, by coming up, to bring their brochure of, explaining their what they're offering, so they can share that on the site at all those exposing, like the business owners or the other attendees from the across the United States or Africans. Because you can be a farmer from Ivory Coast and meet a farmer from Burkina here in Omaha and seal a great partnership. But having your own brochure explaining what you can offer, it's easy, and your guest or the one you meet can just take it home and call you a month later and set a business with you. So we do advise them to make sure they bring their own brochure explaining what they're offering, what are their expertise, and which type of agriculture business they are into.
How about you, Musa?
Yeah. So the same in the same framework, we are definitely encouraging people to have like a statement of what what they do, advertising what they have and what kind of partnership that they're looking for, and making sure that they're including their contact information and the best way to reach them. So when they come to the fair, they can also pass along those statements and business cards, and just build some relationships. Bridging. The team for this fair, making sure that you're bringing enough material to also share with other participants, um, so that everybody can get something out of this.
How many participants do you expect?
So for now, we are expecting over 100 participants, just because of the first edition. We don't want to just over expect. So over 100, that's what we are preparing for. But we have the capacity of you know uh, of taking more people if needed.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe 100 to 150 or
Yes,
so, or 100 to 200 or so.
around 150.
That's awesome.
Because that'll be people coming from the US. I mean, from the US or outside of the US.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Will John, and I'll stay with you on the for this last question. For this next question, will the fair offer attendees the kind of that market data and intelligence they would need to make informed business decisions?
So on that question, yes, that's one of the goal of the fair. We want people who will be attending through the panels and through the the information that we shared, they'll get some market intel that will help them to be better at their better in the sector they are competing in, or they are in. So at the end of the fair, we're also going to prepare a document, like electronic document, that we'll be sending to participants, summarizing the discussion during the panels, what have been talked about, and with some photos, videos, and send that in a package to participants that will help them, as well as contacts they can use to foster partnerships after the fair.
So we have a question here in the chat. With the fair emphasizing climate smart agriculture and sustainable manufacturing, what role can agritourism play in showcasing innovations to international buyers?
I mean, this question is a little bit, I would say, the role they can play, to me, basically will be at least attending. And if there's a company intervening in that sector, they can also express interest in sharing their information, or sharing something valuable for the participant, and we will see how we can make it possible for them to bring that information to participant.
And Musa, you being the scientist among us here, I'm going to ask you about impact measurement, right? So, how will IAI track and measure the success of the first fair beyond just attendance numbers? How are you going to track and make sure that we had, connections were made, partnerships were built? How are you going to do that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So we are actually like building a portfolio for the people who are attending, right? So it's not just going to be people come attend and just stay, because we're all are not only interested in them coming to the fair and making connections and doing something, but we also want to follow up, for multiple reasons. One, we want to know what worked, what worked, but we also want to know what didn't, and what potential areas of improvement. So definitely everybody who's registering, not only we're keeping in contact with them by sending them all those required documentation, but we're keeping like a portfolio of people and also their interest, because they're filling out those forms and expressing their interest. So we're going to have a follow-up with, everyone to make sure that, not only they got something out of it, but also, moving down the road 2-3 years after the first session, how are those collaboration going on? And another important aspect is we also want to encourage students or researchers to come to this prepared to make connections, to foster research. We already have examples of people collaborating in the international level. Scientists from Burkina Faso, for example, have collaborated with scientists in the University of Nebraska Lincoln, and there are some publications, that people can check. But so we want to use this model and try to replicate that, multiple levels. So encouraging people to come, ready and with open-minded uh, kind of mentality, and to the conference is one thing that we're looking for. So we're definitely keeping a portfolio of that and trying to keep records and improve along the way.
Thank you, Moussa. We are almost close to the end of our discussions here, so I want to give you each a chance to share a final word.
Okay, I'll go first. So no, first of all, I would like to thank you so much, Karine. We know that this is a great opportunity that you're giving us, this platform to be able to express ourselves and talk about what we're doing. We thank you for your input. We thank you for your support at multiple levels. So there's a lot we can say about what you have been doing for us. But yeah, and we want to, I personally want to invite people to, you know, reach out if you have questions, if you have issues with registrations, and and want to get support, because we've seen that in the past and we have been successfully able to help people who were like having internet issues and stuff like that, or payment issues. So we have other ways of helping people be able to register. And because of the time constraints, people need to act quick so they have enough time to prepare for their trip.
Thank you, Moussa. You are much welcome. Julien.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Karine. And I'm going to join Moussa and John to thank you. Thank you for what you've been doing for the African and American entrepreneurs here in Nebraska. I think if MAC wasn't existing, it should be existing by now. And you are such a great example for our community. And through B2B AGORA, like this morning, you just gave us an opportunity to communicate about the fair. Thank you so much. And may God bless you. God bless the MAC. And I will also invite all the youth of African youth, of American youth, students, or young entrepreneur of the African diaspora living in the US to take part of this agriculture fair, because it's made for them. And it's time now for them to express themselves and to show their interest, because it's going to be a big win for them. Agriculture, we all need food. And to reach the food security, we need to have some fair like the AIA to connect people from both continents and reach the goals that our states, the United States or African states, are looking for. So
thank you,
you're
Julien.
welcome. Thank you so much.
John, we are almost out of time here, but I
Yeah,
want to give give you the opportunity to
No
have
problem. So yeah, I want to,
a little bit about
yes,
your
no
partners.
problem. All right. I will say first, Mac is our main partner. So we've been partners for since the beginning. We also have the Nebraska Corn Board, who will be our partner as well. This Agriculture Solution for Africa is an organization led by Jay Reynolds and Brendan. Who's, they are our partner as well. And Easy Boy, we have we're getting more partners, and I want to say here that we are still open for sponsorship. You are welcome to sponsor. We have different level of sponsorship, and we also can customize a sponsorship depending on the needs of the person. So you can look at the website, see the different level of sponsorship. But for someone who wants a specific one, they can just reach out. So I will just end my intervention here by saying thank you to Mark, thank you, Karine, inviting people to register and to reaching out if they have questions.
Thank you, John. Thank you to the team, the IAI team, for joining us today. We are at the end of B2B Agora by Mark. We have exciting events coming up. We have our gala coming up and much more. We are also gearing up again for our trade mission to Africa next spring. Stay tuned for more information on that. And we look forward to seeing you at our next B2B Agora session early in September. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for joining John and I today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay.